Hello everyone, I'm Professor Toybox. I've got Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey with me, and that means it's time for another episode of Toybox Tutorials. Today, we're continuing to work on Mickey's first mission, which is to save the townspeople from the brooms. This mission is almost finished, but as I noted last time, the ending needs some work. Right now, when we save the last townsperson, a text displayer tells us the mission's done, but that's a little boring. So today we're going to look at a few Creativitoys that will help us spice it up and make it a bit more exciting. So I'll come in here to the toy box drawers, and we're going to come over here and experiment for right now. First toy we're going to look at is the party cannon, and I'll put one of those down here. Another toy we'll look at is the sound effects generator, and we're going to need a button to connect up to these. And the third toy we're going to look at is the Action Enforcer. And I'll put that down over here. Dragon's shooting at us. There's another toy we can consider, which is the Fireworks Cannon, but we've already looked at that in an earlier video, so I don't feel the need to revisit that. So we'll look at the Party Cannon first, and as we open the logic menu for this, you'll note there's no properties. And you can't even connect a locator to this, which is kind of a shame. That means all of the effects of this toy are going to be at this toy's location. And we have to place this toy where we want to see the effects. And that's a bummer because this toy doesn't really fit the theme of my toy box. It doesn't look anything like the fantasy setting. So the fact that this has to sit out and I can't change the way it looks, that's kind of a bummer. But you'll note we also can't specify what the toy does. The only way to do that is through a logic connection. So we'll come to the button and do New Logic Connection when pressed. We come to the Party Cannon. And there's three things you can do. One is Fireworks, which is similar to the Fireworks Cannon. Another is Confetti. And then Grand Finale is kind of a mix of the two. And we'll go ahead and do Confetti first, just to show that off, because we've already seen the fireworks with the firework cannon. And that's kind of cool. By itself, it's not real impressive, but combined with some other things, it could be. We'll come and edit this logic connection, and when pressed, we'll change it to do Grand Finale, and we can see what that's like. It's a little more exciting. You get the fireworks and a little bit of confetti. Not much. The fireworks kind of obscured that. But I like how that looks. Another toy we can look at is the sound effect generator. So whereas this adds a visible effect, this one can be used to add an audible effect. And as we open the logic menu for this, you'll note we can attach a locator to this one. And we also have some properties. And one of the properties is this 3D sound at speaker or locator, which by default is on. And this is a positional sound, such that the closer we are to this speaker or the locator we attach to it, the louder the sound is, and the further away, the harder it is to hear. It fades away the further you get. And if you turn this off, then you'll hear this sound that this generates anywhere in the toy box. It doesn't matter how close or how far you are from this toy. And we also have a volume, which you can change, and I usually leave it set at 100. So we'll come back over to our button and do a New Logic Connection when pressed. We'll come over here, and you have a whole bunch of categories of sounds that you can choose from. And you can also activate and deactivate this toy. So if we were to deactivate it, then any other toys that try to trigger this to play a sound, this toy would not play those sounds. And you'd have to reactivate it again through a logic connection in order to get it to play sounds again. But for right now, we're going to come into the musical category, and I'll play Fanfare. That's a little musical flourish. So now when we press our button, we have a visual effect and an audio effect. So we're kind of layering on some different effects here. and it's getting a bit more exciting. The third toy we can look at is this Action Enforcer. And if you'll remember from our discussion of townspeople, you can set their behaviors so they jump up and down, or they faint, or they cheer, or any number of other things. Well, this toy allows you to do the same thing with the player character, and there's a whole bunch of things that you can do with that. But if you open the logic menu, you'll notice there's not a whole lot you can do here. You can do a new logic connection so that when you attempt to do an action with the player, this will broadcast that trigger signal, which you can hook up to other toys to do things. But the action itself you can't specify here. Once again, you got to do it through a logic connection. So we'll do from our button, when pressed, we'll come over to the Action Enforcer. And there's a whole list of things in here we can have Mickey do. And for right now, I'm going to have him do a celebration. And we can have it be the triggering player, which is Mickey, who's pushing the button. Or we can do all players, or a specific player. So we can have each player do something different. Or a specific team. And so in a team game, you can have one team celebrating and the other team lamenting their loss. So lots of possibilities there. But for now, we'll apply this to all players. And so now if we come over and press the button one more time, and we turn around so we can see everything. So we got some fireworks, we got the sound, Mickey does a little song and dance. So yeah, now it's getting a lot more interesting. So now we'll see how we can integrate these into our mission, and we don't need this button anymore. And we'll go ahead and move this party cannon. And again, it's a shame that we can't connect a locator up to that. So I have to leave this big ugly thing sitting out here in space. So we'll put one here, and I'll drop a second one over here, like that. And we'll come and grab our speaker. And I could leave these toys over here, but I like to keep all the toys together that belong to a certain area or a certain event. It just keeps it organized, and that's good. So as the mission grows and I'm putting more and more toys down here, I can keep track of what goes with what. And I also don't have to go back and forth over this large distance as I'm hooking these up. So it'll kind of speed things up a little bit. We'll put this over here with these toys. All right. So the toy that determines when our mission is done is the counter, as we saw last time. And the trigger signal we're looking for on the counter is when 0 is reached. We were using that to display some text. We were using that to turn off the radar marker. We can use that as well to hook up to our celebration toys. So on the party cannon, we'll do a grand finale. And we'll do the same thing for the other party cannon. I could have one toy do fireworks and another do confetti. I can hook it up any way I want, but that's the way I'd like it. And on 0 reached on the counter, we'll come over to our sound generator and play our little musical flourish. And we'll also hook up to the Action Enforcer. So when 0 is reached, it'll force all the players to celebrate. And there we go. It's pretty easy to hook into once you know the toy that's triggering the end of the mission or the event that you want to do the celebration for. So we'll come back out here, and once again we will save our game. This way we can get back to this state if anything goes wrong, or if the power goes out, or any number of things. You just never know. I might spill my root beer on my console. Okay, one more time. Let's see how the end of the mission goes. So as we cross the bridge, enemies start generating. We walk up to our townsperson and accept their mission. And then we head into town. And we want to go save our townspeople. So we'll come over here and throw the first one in. And the villagers rejoice. And the enemy does not. So we'll grab the second one and throw them in. Whoops, hey. There we go. Helps if you press the right button. And we'll grab the third one. Whoops. He went out of the trigger area. And you'll note the counter went back up to 3 to note that we still have 3 people we have to save. So now we got 2 left. It's nice that they're right here where I could get to them. And one more, and we'll see how the end of the mission comes. So we save our last townsperson. There we go. That was a lot more exciting than just seeing the "thank you for your help" text. So this is looking really good to me. But there's one more thing I need to do. Right now we only have 1 broom in the village, and it doesn't feel like we're really saving the townspeople from any major threat. I want an army of brooms running around this village when Mickey arrives, and as each wave is defeated, I want to spawn more brooms and keep doing that until the mission's over. And for that, we're going to need another Creativitoy that we haven't used yet, the Time Delayer, and we'll look at that next time as we finally wrap up this first mission. Until then, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it or at least learned something from it. Be sure to sign up on my blog or subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so that you don't miss the next episode. For now, Mickey and I are signing off from my Fantasia toy box, and we hope you have a great weekend.